Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to do the second half of this sketchbook tour. I just finished it today, so I wanted to get this out to you right away because I know that people in general like to do sketchbook tours. As usual, this is an ELO sketchbook. I really like these sketchbooks. I like the square format. So let's just get right into it, and we're going to start right in the middle where we left off. So this is where we left off, just playing with kind of my basic shapes and rotating them in space. Over here I was following along with a Draw Like a Sir video, and I thought this was really helpful, particularly for drawing arms and legs for me, as well as to try and remember to add the space between the chest and the hips. I kind of kept forgetting to add that with my drawings, and they always looked a little bit funky because I didn't add enough space there. So this was really helpful for me. And then over here, just studying my gesture drawing, my anatomy, that you're going to see a lot of that in here. You're also going to see some random, like, kind of Art Nouveau stuff, because I really like Art Nouveau and I want to incorporate more of that sort of thing into my drawings. Here I found this image on Pinterest and decided to redraw it, and I really like how it turned out. But I can't really take credit for it because it's not my original idea. I did draw this though. Here I had watched or heard something somewhere that said, hey, if you draw something and it doesn't turn out right, draw it again, and then draw it again, and then draw it again. So just keep drawing it so that you can learn what you've done wrong and do it right away so that you kind of can incorporate that knowledge into the next drawing. So I did this a few times. I actually got worse here. I got a little better here, and then I finally really realized how I was laying things out wrong, why everything was looking kind of like it was twisted. So I felt like this is a really good exercise for me, and I actually really like this spread, even though some of the drawings are rather wonky. And I left notes to myself about like what I was doing wrong. And then continuing to kind of work on how things look in space and things like that, working on eyes, working on more just kind of anatomy drawings. Some of these I think are from imagination and some of these are from reference. Same thing here, and drawing kind of the cross contours to help me remember like which way in space those things are going, and help me be able to understand like how it would shade them and that sort of thing. Earlier in the sketchbook I worked on just kind of backgrounds, and I decided to do that again, and I like these. I think these are less successful than the previous one. I am not quite sure what this is. Oh, I know what this is. I think this is underwater, and these are like rays of light coming down through. It doesn't really come across when you come back to it to figure out what this is. And then just kind of playing with different fonts here. More anatomy studies. Some of these are recreations of drawings that I saw on Pinterest, and some of these are this was actually a photo of a woman, a belly dancer, and I drew her. I think some of these are more successful than others. The hands up here, I don't know what was going on there, but I was just not able to draw hands that day. But overall, I think that, you know, I'm making good progress on my anatomy. Lots of random drawings, lots of inspiration from Pinterest. This was inspired from a drawing on Pinterest. This was a recreation of a drawing on Pinterest, and I really liked their line work and decided to redraw it to see, kind of like just to understand it for myself. This was from, let's see, Miley Ortiz Art. She originally made this drawing, and I just recreated it here, and I like it. And then just kind of other random stuff. I don't remember what video this was, but there was a video or something that I was following along on how to figure out like where your shadows would lie, based on like if you had like buildings or whatever. More random designs. Most of these are ones that I found online and decided to recreate in here just because I wanted to have my pencil moving and I didn't really know what I wanted to draw. More stuff from Pinterest. This was, I believe, from imagination, just trying to draw this. And then these were some cute little babies that I tried to draw. I think I saw someone do something like this, and then I was doing the same thing for myself here. And I really like this one. He's super cute. Some mermaids, because I wanted to, again, practice anatomy. And I did the first one here and I didn't like it, so I tried it again, and I think this one was more successful. But there's some things I like better about this one too. this was just drawing from life. This is a tree in my backyard, and I drew a good portion of it and then decided that that was all I was going to draw and didn't want to draw anything else on the page, so that's what this is. More anatomy studies. Some of them are better than others. This one was really stiff. This was a little bit less stiff. And then I watched a video that kind of showed me a different technique for drawing people, and I really like that. In a minute, I'm just going to show you where I learned about this, and I've been using that since then for drawing my people, and I really like how it works, and I really love how this one turned out. I've been going through an anatomy book, which I will try to link below, and just kind of drawing things from there, and lots of notes to myself, more just kind of drawings of people. I think these were from either from Pinterest or from Line of Action, but trying to use that technique of putting all those lines in there. And the video that I saw, or the person I saw talking about this, was Kuo Sketch, K-U-O Sketch. He was doing some drawings like this, and I found that it was really helpful for me. This was originally come up from Frank Riley, and so he talks about like how to do it, and I really like this one. It's using kind of these just different lines in there to try and figure out where things are, and help you really position all of the parts of the body in space and help make your forms a little bit more dynamic. More working through that anatomy book. Here I had seen something talking about you could go on to a lot of museum websites to see pictures of items that they have, and I saw that they had pictures of swords and stuff, so I decided to go ahead and recreate those. And this is the little decorative bits that are on the end of a horse bit. They are called bit bosses, and there was a little decorative bit boss on the mat that I decided to recreate here as well. And then it was mermaid, so I do a bunch of mermaids, but I didn't do all of the mermaids in mermaid. I did this one, and then I was looking ahead to the next one, which was hula, and I saw some different images of people performing the hula and holding their hands in this like really kind of intricate way, which I really liked, and I was trying to draw those, and I really like this one in particular. I think it kind of really captures that kind of elegant way that they hold their hands, and I really like the idea of doing a hula mermaid with kind of an Art Nouveau style background, with the decorative bits being kind of more of like this Hawaiian style tattoo decoration. So I was kind of exploring what that would look like here a lot, and a little bit later you'll see me continuing to explore that. Here I was again doing mermaid and was doing toe beans, so I decided to do a cat, and I found a bunch of different images that I tried to recreate in here. This one I was trying to do one of those like Squishmallow type faces, and it just turned out really kind of creepy. And then I found someone who had drawn a cat like this, and then I added the mermaid body, and then this was my little Squishmallow mermaid cat, and I think he really turned out cute, and this was more for me than anyone else. Continuing mermaid force. In the past, I had done more of a Star Wars thing and decided not to do a Star Wars character this time. So I just kind of did a mermaid and kind of put some power around her. I wanted to do like this creepy doll thing for toy. I think it was not terribly successful. And this is Dolly Parton, mermaid. And then this is Dali, like Salvador Dali. This one was super unsuccessful, and at that point I just was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a whole lot of mermaid anymore. I did do a couple more mermaids, but not necessarily because of mermaid. I just decided to continue to do some mermaids, partially because I was studying anatomy, and I thought, well, you know, this actually does still help me study anatomy. So there's some just random anatomy studies here. This, I was trying to draw this hand here. Neither of these times it was terribly successful. Because I had been doing the hula mermaid, I was looking at different Hawaiian designs, which is where all of this came from. Just kind of some random doodling of different designs that I saw that kind of made me think Hawaiian. Yep. water dragon was one more mermaid prompt that I did, and I did some searching on Pinterest to find some different like water dragon designs, and I found someone had done a water dragon that looks like this, and I really liked it, so I recreated it here and then used some of the ideas from there on my mermaid, because I really liked kind of the tail and I liked kind of these spines on there, so I was just pulling some bits from here to put onto my mermaid, and I think that overall like some of that was pretty successful. Her face is not successful. I still struggle with faces looking up. This was also recreating something from Pinterest, and I just wanted to draw a phoenix, and I saw someone else had drawn a phoenix, and so I tried drawing it, but I think that it ended up looking like the wing is coming out of his chest instead of coming out from the other side. I think the angle is just wrong here, so it just looks a little bit funky. But I do like how this little froggy guy turned out. And here I was working on like what maybe my first page or cover of my next sketchbook would look like. I'm not sure that I'm sold on any of these, but it was just kind of fun to explore. Doing some blind contour and contour drawings just in a meeting, just because I do like doing these sometimes, and they're kind of funky to look at afterwards, but sometimes they actually turned out pretty good. So more anatomy studies, more just kind of studying other things. This horse looks kind of funky. I'm not quite sure what I did wrong there, but it's definitely not right. I was following along with a YouTube video on how to design your own characters. These are not my characters, these are his. I will try to find that video and link it below. But I do like how she looks. More anatomy studies, and then these all around here are just some different designs from like a mandala or something like that. And I found something on Pinterest and was just kind of doodling that in here, and then just more flower doodles. Just because I wasn't feeling like drawing anything really, but I wanted to get my pencil moving, so just a lot of doodles. Here I was just like, all right, let me go find some random things to draw, so I found this beetle, and he kind of like went off the page there, and I found this flower was drawn like this on Pinterest, and I redrew it, but I really like how it turned out. This was actually just a picture of a croissant. It was not drawn, and I drew it, and I really like how this one turned out. And this is continuing to think about that hula dancer Art Nouveau style piece, what that might look like, what the layout might look like. And I kind of really like this. I think that turned out really good. And this little raspberry was cute too. And again, this was just a picture of raspberry, and I redrew it. So like, I don't need to give you any credit for those. Those were actually mine. That's mine. This was a picture on Pinterest that I was trying to redraw. Some of this was from my anatomy book. This was a mermaid that was drawn by drawing with waffles that I was trying to recreate. I seriously failed on it, but you know, whatever, it is what it is. And then down here I was just redrawing what I drew up here just to kind of really set it in my head. I signed up for Schmo Draws, started a mailing list, and I signed up for it, and she talked about like how she draws feet, so that's what this is. And then I was working in my anatomy book on, it's moved on to skulls, and for some reason that day and the next day I just couldn't draw. So like this page is full of a whole bunch of things that my hand was refusing to draw. So they all turned out kind of terribly, but I'm showing it anyway. I did find it interesting that, like, because I couldn't draw, I was like, you know what, let me just go back to kind of basic shapes and stuff. And I just filled in around all of these skulls with these lines and stuff. And somehow it makes the skulls look less bad. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just kind of distracting from them. I'm not sure. But I'm actually happy that this doesn't look quite as bad as it did when I first drew it. More of the same thing. Like, I couldn't draw, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to draw some basic shapes and just kind of get that out of my system and then move on. More mostly random things from Pinterest that I decided to draw. These two were actually from my imagination, and I really like this little mushroom guy. This was from Pinterest. This was from a YouTube video, and I don't remember where that was from. I decided to get out my Tombow watercolor markers and just kind of play with them, and it turns out that I don't have a lot of really good colors that work together, and so I didn't have the right colors to do the things that I was trying to do, so most of these didn't turn out the way that I wanted them to, but if you squint and kind of look at them, they don't look too bad, but if you look too closely, they really don't look that good. But it is what it is, and I kind of destroyed the paper a little bit here because there was a lot of water in there, but it is what it is. And these last couple pages here I just did today because I wanted to finish up the sketchbook, so just like kind of studying the skull and the face to try and really lay it out and remember how things lay in like proportions and everything. Just random things that I found on Pinterest that I decided to redraw. Just whatever was sparking my interest. And then a bunch of corsets because I really like corsets. No other reason. And then the last couple pages here are just different compositions. I started seeing somebody on TikTok showing a couple of compositions for each of their videos, so I drew a couple of those, and then I went online and looked for some more, and so I was just kind of drawing out compositions and explaining like why they're interesting. So that's what these last couple pages are, is just random compositions, and more compositions. This last page here I always just save for swatches, and that's about it. And continuing to play with what a logo might look like. I really like this kind of outline here, but I'm not very good at drawing it yet. Found this cute little sticker at my local game store. It says it's called Pop, and it's got a little picture of Michigan because we call it Pop here, not soda. And then in my pocket I just have my eclipse glasses from viewing the eclipse. And that is that. That is my sixth sketchbook. It is done. Next week you should expect to see a full flip through of this sketchbook. Most likely it will basically just be kind of a quicker flip through without a lot of words and maybe just some music in the background. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again next week. Bye.